Hey everybody, this is Dave Dugdale, learningdslrvideo.com. This is kind of my initial thoughts, not my review. I'm gonna put my review on my main YouTube channel. This is my second YouTube channel, so if you're watching this, you're on my second YouTube channel, which has about 10,000 subscribers on it. My other one has about, 140,000. So I usually put my tests on my second YouTube channel. So what I'm reviewing, or actually just testing today, is the FotodioX FlapJack lights. I've got 3 of them that are lighting me right now. I've got the 2 up front, equally lit, equally spaced, just nice even lighting for right now. These are, I forget the model number, but I measured the diameter. They're 8.5 inches in diameter. They're circular, and basically they're edge lights. So basically they're a bunch of LEDs around the edge pointing inward. And it's kind of like looking at an iPad screen. It's very even light. So if you were just put your iPad just on a white screen, and that's all it had, and you held it up to your face, it would be kind of similar to that. It's a very nice, even light. So you don't have to diffuse it, which is one of the great things about this. They're really easy to travel with. I've already taken them all the way to Hawaii and back, and they're really easy to travel with, which is one of the big selling points for me if I'm looking at buying these. And I'm lit by one in the back. That's a 3x12, I believe, the way I measured it. Again, I'll have all the model numbers and all that stuff in the links below. But again, this is more of just a test. I'm going to run a bunch of different tests. The first thing I was looking at in terms of color, I reviewed had in the Rosco Axiom series of lights, which are also edge lights. They were very, very green. In fact, I'm not even going to put a test up because they were so green I didn't even bother, because I could correct for it, but I want to use these in a daylight setting because these are about 5,200 Kelvin from what I've tested. But the Roscos were so green, if I would light somebody with a lot of natural daylight in the room, well, they might be color balance correct if I color balance them correct, but everything else will probably go magenta in the terms of the fill light in the rest of the room that it's coming from the outside. Anyway, so I found that these are minus, I guess you could say -1 green or +1 magenta on my Sony a7S, whereas the Roscos were like, I think, -5 green or a +5 magenta. So they were very green. These are not that green at all. A friend of mine, James Drake, came down into the studio actually, and he was looking at it with his hand. He's like, these aren't bad. And he was going on a trip and he was like, these are really lightweight. He says, I'm gonna pick one up. So I think he actually picked a few up, and he knows much more about lighting than I do. So in terms of the green cast, it's not that bad. And I've already done one video prior to this one where I used these lights. It was actually my last video on this second channel. And it matched the daylight coming into the windows quite well. So let's go on to the next test. All right, this next test, I just have one light on, and you can actually see it in the frame. It's really bright. It's exactly 1 meter away from the light, and it's reading at 1200 and, well, before I got into the frame, it was reading about 1260. It's a little higher right now because I'm probably reflecting some light onto it. Sorry, it's really bright. These aren't really like super bright lights, but they're great for putting like catch lights in your eyes, getting a little bit more fill. You have a lot of natural light already. You can do it. I mean, I'm already doing it in this space. You can definitely light it, especially if you have the A7S, you don't mind pumping the ISO a little bit. In fact, right now I think I'm at a 5.6 f-stop at 640 ISO, but it's really close. I would want to back it up quite a bit. So in terms of the brightness right here, 1260, remember that number, and I'm going to test my next light. All right, next up is the ePhoto lights, fluorescent lights, the softbox. So the quality, or actually I say the type of light, is going to be a much softer light, even though it's much brighter. Because in terms of the Lux meter on here, again, this is just a not very accurate meter, but it's relative to measuring it between this one, the FlapJack, and this one. So FlapJack was much dimmer compared to this one, as you can see, because I didn't make any exposure changes. I'm still at f5.6, 6400 ISO. And this one's coming in at 3770 before I actually walked into the frame. So this one is, I don't know, twice as bright. It depends. I don't even know if this is logarithmic or not, how Lux are done. But it does seem a bit brighter. And when I look at it on the camera, it's definitely brighter. So The quality of light's different. I did not white balance this one, so you're gonna see probably a different shift, because I think this one usually I have to do a -2, maybe a -3 green on this particular light. So in terms of color accuracy, I think the FlapJack is actually more accurate than my fluorescent lights. Just the fluorescent lights, you know, I have like 5, I don't know, 50-watt bulbs in there or something like that. So it's got a lot more output. But again, these are not as easy to travel with. These are not battery powered. One other thing about the FlapJacks is they don't have a fan in them, and the fluorescents don't have a fan in them, and all the other LED lights that I've been reviewing that are hard lights have had fans in them. So those have always been causing issues. All right, so next test is I'm gonna do kind of a side-by-side comparison. All right, that's pretty much it for the test. When I'm done, after looking at all the footage, I'm gonna put it up on my main YouTube channel. I'll talk about construction and a bunch of other stuff like that. There's a couple of construction issues, but for the most part, it's pretty decent. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.